Hey everyone, welcome to Dit Dot. My name is Amanda, and I am sure at some point in this video you will see my little shadow, my pug Watson, walking around this kitchen. He loves to be underfoot while I'm cooking for sure, just in case I drop something. So as you saw today, I'm making a Pot risotto. If you have not come across an Pot risotto and you're thinking, Amanda, you're crazy, then just bear with me, because let me tell you, the first time I heard that someone made risotto in the Instapot, I was like, nope, can't be done. Nope, that's impossible. Risotto is over the stove, painstakingly, you stir and you stir, and it's a slow process. There's no way you can do it in an Instapot. But I decided to go ahead and try it, and my mind was blown. It is one of the easiest things that you can do in the Instapot, and it is delicious. So let's get started. So today I went ahead and got out my big 6-quart Instapot, mostly because I figured that's what most people have. I have the 6-quart and the 3-quart. I just turned it on to sauté, so it's telling me that it's listening to me. Anyway, I actually use my 3-quart most often, and this recipe will fit in the 3-quart, but I just went ahead and pulled out my bigger one just because, like I said, I think more people have this size. So we're gonna start out with a big old tab of butter. Yeah, you know guys, I don't usually measure, so that's like a tablespoon or 2. The more butter, the better, right? Now there are parts of this dish that do need to be measured. So we're going to start off with that, and then I have 1 small onion chopped up here. This is a yellow onion. You use a sweet onion, a white onion, whatever. It doesn't, really matter. A lot of people actually use shallots. I just didn't buy specific shallots for this recipe. So I like yellow onions. I think they're a little bit more mild than the white onion. And then I also have a couple of cloves of garlic already chopped up. This is probably, my cloves are very tiny, so this is unbelievably like 6 because they were teeny tiny, but if you got normal size cloves, it's probably about 3. And that's one of those ingredients that there is no measurement. If you love garlic, throw it all in there, and if you don't, leave it out or go with less. So basically we are going to saute this onion down until it is nice and soft. And do take the time to do this step. You might be tempted just to like rush on and go into the rice and everything, but if you take it time to soften the onion at least partial of the way, it'll make a big difference in the final dish. Also at this time, if you've got fresh mushrooms, you can add them. I used to be the biggest food snob. I used to watch Food Network all the time, and it was all about using the highest quality ingredients all the time. But now I'm a mom, I'm a homeschool mom, and I mean, come on, life just is life sometimes. So I don't have any fresh mushrooms today, so I'm actually just gonna use canned mushrooms. I would not use these all the time, I promise, but in a casserole type dish, these work great. Now, if you're making a mushroom risotto and you wanna highlight fancy mushrooms, then yeah, canned is not the way to go. But I'm actually making shrimp risotto tonight, which if you don't eat shrimp, you can still do this recipe just with the risotto, because the shrimp I'm gonna be cooking separately and adding to the dish. So even if you don't like shrimp, please keep watching. So I'm gonna go ahead and saute these up, and we'll be back and I'll show you what they look like before we go to the next step. A lot of times when I cook, Watson will stay on this rug right outside the kitchen because he doesn't particularly love our hard floors, but often he's right underfoot. Okay, so the saute feature is pretty awesome on this Instapot. It's only been a couple minutes and my onions are already getting soft. So now we are going to add in 1.5 cups of Arborio rice, and I'll talk to you about that in just a second here. So I'm gonna go ahead and stir that for a second while we talk about the rice, because I am gonna go ahead and let this we're just letting it cook for a minute or 2. So this is Arborio rice, comes in different, containers. It is a short grain rice. So that is very important for risotto. If you're gonna try to do this with a jasmine rice or something like that, you're not gonna get the same creaminess that you would using Arborio. All right, now we're going to deglaze our pan. There's not really that many bits down here. It hasn't been cooking that long, but still, deglazing is if there is any kind of browning that had happened from the onions. This will pull it up and add flavor to your thing. We're gonna do that with some white wine. So here's how I buy white wine most of the time. I decide on a budget. Today, I didn't want to spend more than like $6 or $7. And then I go down and I look and see which label catches my eye. I am not a wine connoisseur. I know nothing about wine. I have no idea if this is a good wine or not. One of my favorite brands that I do go to often is a Pot wine, but I couldn't find them yesterday at the store. So I got this one because Naked Grape sounded cool. All right, so I am getting some browning now. So I'm just gonna pour about 1/4 of a cup in here. Oh, that smells good. Do not use cooking wine. That is basically like a vinegar, and that is not what we want for this dish. We want actual wine that tastes flavorful. If you don't use wine and you are someone who just doesn't cook or drink alcohol at all, that's totally fine. You can leave it out, or you can use some lemon juice. I'm gonna add some salt. We'll adjust the seasoning again at the end. I'm gonna add some pepper and some dried thyme. So I like to take my thyme leaves and kind of squeeze them. That helps release the oils. And if I was measuring, girl, I'd say that was probably about 2 teaspoons. And then I'm gonna give it one more stir here, and then we're gonna add our chicken broth. So 4 cups of chicken broth, which is one of these boxes here. So this is a light colored chicken broth. This brand also makes a bone broth, which I love to cook with, but it's really dark brown in color, and it just doesn't really, I like to use that for like soups and things like that. For a dish like this, the dark brown bone broth doesn't have like the best visual appeal. So all 4 cups of that. So again, I'm not a huge measurer, but you want 1.5 cups of rice, 4 cups. And with the wine, you can be a little loosey-goosey. You know, somewhere between 1/4 and 1/2 of a cup. All right, we're gonna give this a stir. Make sure there's nothing stuck to the bottom. And then I'm going to, so here, let me show you what it looks like right now. So it's just the rice floating down in with the onions and the mushrooms. I'm going to turn off the saute feature. I'm gonna put my lid on. Turn it to sealing if your Instapot needs adjustment. And then we're going to hit manual, and we're gonna cook it on high for 5 minutes. And while this is cooking, I'm gonna make some shrimp. Okay, like I told you, I'm not a big wine drinker, but I figure, hey, if I'm gonna cook with it, you wanna be able to drink it. So I just poured me some in my fancy wine glass, can't you tell? And oh my God, this is really good. I really like it. It's a Pinot Grigio, and it's called the Naked Grape. And this non-wine gal highly recommends it. Oh, and I wanted to show you one more cool thing. Okay, I think I actually want a little bit more because, like I said, it is really good. Okay, so wine people probably already know this, but like I said, I'm not a big wine drinker. But for Christmas one year, I got these rubber wine corks, and then it came with this little vacuum seal pump thing. And so you can just vacuum seal it, and then it'll last a lot longer in your refrigerator, especially for people who don't drink wine very often. So cool trick. Anyway, like I said, you probably already know this. I'm probably the last one to the party. Okay, to start this shrimp, I'm going to start in actually a cold skillet this time, because what I want to do is saute some garlic and let it infuse in the oil. So I'm going to use a tablespoon or 2 of olive, that's probably a tablespoon, and like 1/2 tablespoon or so of butter. And I'm gonna put the garlic down in the oil like I said, in a cold pan, and I'm gonna turn it on low. And I'm gonna let this, you can hear my Instapot coming up to pressure now. I'm gonna turn this on low, and we're just gonna let this garlic infuse into the oil. I'm also gonna add some hot pepper flakes. Now I'm not gonna add many because my family does not like spicy food, but if you like spice, add, you know, you can add a lot of heat here. And that'll also like kind of infuse into the oil. So while that is warming up, let's go ahead and grab our shrimp from the refrigerator. All right. So earlier today, I thawed out this shrimp and peeled all but a couple of them because I wanted to show it for anybody who hasn't peeled shrimp before. These are easy peel shrimp. They are already been deveined, which is a huge help in the kitchen. So if you can buy the easy peel, and all you do is squeeze the leg part right here, and that will peel off a big portion of it, and then squeeze right here at the tail and pull it. You do want to be careful. Right here, this part of the tail is very sharp and pokey. So you don't want to poke yourself on that. But just pull back, again, pull back the skin here, the shell, and squeeze where the feet would be, and then pinch right here on the tail, and it'll just pop off. All right, let's go check on our garlic. Or I'm gonna wash my hands and then we'll check on our garlic. Okay, so the garlic is starting to simmer. I don't really want any color on it. I don't want it to turn brown, so that's good. I'm gonna go ahead, it was on low. I'm gonna turn it up to medium. Okay, if you have frozen shrimp, make sure that you have drained all of, or as much of the water as you can. Even if you like take a towel or a paper towel or something like that to dab it. I didn't do that, but it's a good idea. Pour it in and we're just gonna saute it. So I'm going to add some salt and pepper. And these really will only take like a minute or two to cook. So you're like, oh, I missed another one. Dang it. I'm going to peel this one before it gets too hot. Sometimes that happens. Ah, wash my hands. Ah, here's the doggo. I was gonna say, this is the first video where I've given him a full formal introduction and he's not even gonna show his little snout. So yeah, these won't take very long. I'm only gonna keep them medium, medium-low. And our Instapot is almost done and we'll be able to go to the next step of that. So I'll show you what these look like when they are all finished. The shrimp is all done, nice and pink, so I'm gonna add this to individual bowls of the risotto at the end. All right, so our Instapot finished and I let it do a natural release for 5 minutes. That's really important. And then now we're going to turn it to the venting. Be very careful not to get yourself in the steam. Oh, if you have an island or someplace like that you can do your Instapot where it's not under a cabinet, that is very advisable because over time it will warp your cabinetry. I think they've got things that you can do to direct the steam. A lot of times I will take a towel and just throw it over. Instapot themselves recommends not doing that, so do it at your own discretion. But sometimes I have been known to do that. It is released and I will, here, let me show you what it looks like. You can see the rice has now come up to the top and it is nice and, ooh, the steam is starting to get nice and creamy. So now we're gonna add our last ingredient, which is the Parmesan. Okay, at this stage, if it is too loose for you, you can hit the saute button and it'll help thicken it up. Mine is really good, I think. Once I add the Parmesan, it'll tighten up a little bit more. So I'm gonna add this in stages. So you can use fresh grated Parmesan. That is definitely my preference, but I just wanted to go fast and easy tonight, so I bought a bag of Parmesan, and just adding that, you can see it's already starting to get creamier. Now I haven't tasted it yet, so we're gonna do that in a minute. Add a little bit more. If you add too much at once, it will gum up on you, so you don't wanna do that. So I'm probably adding, I would say, half a cup of Parmesan total, but we're gonna taste it and we'll decide if we want more or less. All right, so I'm gonna give it a taste. I kind of just bend down so I'm in frame here. That is so good, guys. Okay, so optional, you can squeeze some lemon. I don't think it really super needs it, but I think it will help. It'll brighten it up a little bit. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of lemon juice here. Oh, this is not a very juicy lemon. So squeeze the lemon, and then I think it needs a little bit more salt. There's Watson now. Man, I am not in the frame. All right, so let's give it one more taste. It is nice and risotto creamy. Now, hot. So good. Perfect. Perfect. All right, well, I will show you a finished dish once I plate it up for my family. And I made some just frozen peas for our side dish. Anyway, if y'all enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. It really helps me out. And hit subscribe if you would like to have more fun videos from my kitchen. And I appreciate all of you so much for watching and leaving comments and tell me what is your favorite risotto. There's a lot of really cool risottos out there. And I really want to expand past this really basic Parmesan risotto. But yeah, tell me what your favorite risotto experience is. And until then, I'll see you on the next video.